Fenway Park concession workers strike. What you need to know. Fenway Park food service employees launch strike ahead of Red Sox weekend series. Food service employees at Boston's iconic Fenway Park and the adjacent MGM Music Hall have officially walked off the job as negotiations with their employer Aramark reached an impasse without resolution. Unite Here Local 26, the union representing these workers, had established a noon deadline for reaching an agreement in their ongoing contract discussions. Picket lines are expected to be visible during Friday night's game between the Boston Red Sox and the current MLB champions, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Despite challenging weather conditions in Boston, with extreme heat followed by thunderstorms, the game proceeded according to schedule. However, the union has urged fans attending the games to show solidarity by refraining from purchasing concessions throughout the weekend. The strike action is planned to continue through Sunday's matchup. But here's where it gets interesting. These workers aren't making trivial demands. They're fighting for fundamental improvements to their working conditions that have remained unaddressed for over half a year. Their core requests include higher wages, improved tip structures for premium service workers, scheduling policies that honor employee seniority, and protections against unchecked automation that could threaten their livelihoods. These demands haven't materialized overnight. They've been on the table for approximately 7 months, dating back to when their previous employment contract with the food and beverage giant expired. And this is the part most people miss. The strike represents a culmination of frustrations after months of stalled negotiations, not a sudden or impulsive action. In response to the strike, Aramark released a statement Friday expressing disappointment in the union's decision while asserting they've been negotiating in good faith throughout the process. "We remain dedicated to providing an exceptional experience for fans and have implemented contingency plans to ensure there will be no interruption to services," the company stated, attempting to reassure concerned patrons. Meanwhile, the Boston Red Sox organization clarified their position, noting they aren't directly involved in the labor dispute between Unite Here, Local 26, and Aramark. The team disclosed that Aramark had presented a fresh proposal Thursday evening, which the union subsequently rejected. Aramark has activated its backup staffing arrangements, and fans should expect complete and uninterrupted service throughout Fenway Park this weekend, including full access to all food, beverage, and hospitality offerings throughout the venue. We continue to hope the parties will achieve a quick and equitable resolution, the Red Sox management explained in their official statement. The timing of this labor action is particularly significant, coinciding with a high-profile series against the Los Angeles Dodgers that would typically generate substantial concession revenue. By strategically timing their strike during this marquee matchup, workers have maximized their leverage while bringing attention to their cause. This situation raises important questions about fair compensation in the sports entertainment industry, where billion-dollar franchises and their corporate partners rely heavily on service workers who often struggle with seasonal employment and limited benefits. Should these workers, who help create the iconic Fenway experience, receive a larger share of the substantial profits generated during home games? What do you think? Are the concession workers justified in their demands, or should they accept Aramark's latest offer? Have you ever worked in food service at a major venue? And if so, what was your experience like? Share your thoughts in the comments below about whether you'd support these workers by boycotting concessions during a game you attended. Historic labor strike at Fenway Park. What you need to know. In a groundbreaking event that's stirring up more than just the crowd's cheers, Fenway Park, a beacon of baseball history for over a century, finds itself at the heart of a labor dispute that could change the game day experience forever. As the Boston Red Sox gear up to host the Los Angeles Dodgers, fans eager for a bite or a sip might face some unexpected hurdles. But here's where it gets controversial. The very workers who make Fenway's atmosphere so vibrant are the ones walking the picket lines. This Friday marks a significant moment at Fenway Park as concession and restaurant staff employed by Aramark have initiated a strike coinciding with the start of a major series against the Dodgers. The decision to strike follows unsuccessful negotiations to forge a new collective bargaining agreement, despite a deadline that passed at noon. The workers, represented by Unite Here Local 26, include a diverse group ranging from cooks and cashiers to souvenir vendors and utility staff, all united in their demand for better conditions and fair pay. Earlier in the week, these workers had already signaled their intentions by advising fans to consider purchasing their refreshments outside the park's gates, hinting at the impending action. The strike isn't a reflection of any animosity towards the Red Sox or their fans, according to Union President Carlos Aramark. Instead, it's a targeted protest against Aramark's practices, which they claim are undermining both the quality of service and the iconic Fenway experience. Aramark passionately expressed a desire to preserve the human touch at Fenway, emphasizing that fans should receive their Sam Adams from a local, not a machine. Aramark, on their part, insists they have tried to negotiate in good faith, expressing disappointment over the union's rejection of their latest offer. They assure fans that contingency plans will prevent any disruption to the service, aiming to maintain the high standards of fan experience Fenway is known for. The roots of this conflict stretch back to the last contract negotiations, which saw no significant progress and led to the current standoff. The workers' demands include not only better wages, but also measures to limit automation and respect for seniority in scheduling. This strike, unprecedented in Fenway's 113-year history, highlights a critical debate over the balance between tradition and modernization in one of America's most beloved ballparks. Interestingly, while Fenway's cashiers earn $18.52 an hour, their counterparts at Miami's Lone People Park take home $21.25 an hour, spotlighting a stark wage disparity that adds fuel to the ongoing dispute. Despite the strike, the Red Sox organization remains hopeful for a resolution, staying in close contact with Aramark, who continues to negotiate. As Fenway Park stands at the crossroads of tradition and contemporary labor challenges, one must wonder, will this strike spark a broader movement across sports venues nationwide? What are your thoughts on balancing automation with human service in such historic settings? Share your views and join the discussion below.